let's make some noise as we get into this next match. PSG versus Method, a best of 5 to see who advances on in the tournament. With the commentary of this matchup is Shogun and Final Carpet. Take it away, guys.
Thank you very much, Axel Toss. And if there was ever a game to get the world to watch, this would be it. We are guaranteed an all-European upper bracket final, but we're gonna have to see who it is gonna be. And this is a huge one. I'm joined by Carpet, and you gotta be looking forward to this.
I mean, these are the two teams that I loved casting throughout league play. They both brought something unique out. You know, obviously, we haven't seen Method really play their game. We watched them play predominantly defense against Energy, which is something I'd literally never seen from them at all. Obviously, they were able to soak up enough and do a good job, but I think a lot of this relies on Mets and Mog to get that ball clear, to give a lot that comfort to push out. He really wasn't that comfortable because he didn't have a lot of opportunity. And a lot of the pressure right now was on the young guns over on PSG. Can Bluey perform up to his standard? Can Farah be that ground they need on defense?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, these two teams have been so similar all season. Both teams blowing themselves onto the European scene. Both of them ending 6-1 in the league. But it is finally time for their paths to diverge. One will go through to the upper bracket finals, and the other will have to fight through losers. It's time to see who can do it. As Mog's going to have an early shot set, forced for the off the crossbar. Early on, we already heard it from the interview with Magnus, how much Method wants to be the speedy team.
You can see a lot already waiting. You see him waiting on that backboard. He wants to make something fun out of this.
Just going to be a clash of two incredible styles. There is every single chance that this one goes to game number 5, and I think there is every chance that everybody here wants to see it. Josette only wants to see some more of that ball. Get the block off. Here is Bluey. Unable to get initial contact on the ball, but 1 minute down. Both teams have had whiffs at the opponent's hand on the field, but nothing dangerous apart from the early shots. Now, Magnus trying to play it past. Understands that he's got nobody to aim for, but here's a lot. Expecting just to throw himself at some of these challenges at times, even if they don't necessarily make sense, just so he can get himself into that cherry picker position. Yeah, he doesn't care about winning.
Even if he loses that 50-50, he's now cleared it to the other side, or not, or his body at least. He's cleared himself, put himself on his opponent's half, and it gives his teammates that juicy target that they've had all season.
It's actually something we saw a lot when Method took on Gale Force in the European playoffs. Here's the shot from Miscaris, but it does get blocked by Farah. If yesterday showed anything, it is that Cloud9 know what it takes to try and get past PSG. And that is an awful lot of work. They were all over the place. Just think Farah wanted to wait for the shot, but was bumped off the ball. Still waiting for the first major chance and first goal in this match. Bounce off the backboard. Here is Bluey. He's got time. Taps it straight down. Will there be a follow-up? No. He's going to be waiting for a long time. Longs with the jump up high. Method to clear away. PSG giving a lot of respect to Method's defense.
You'll see teams being timid right now, especially the two of these. They understand this is probably one of the most difficult challenges they will have here at LAN.
Louis flicks on. Farah gonna back out. Another shot. Farah over to Bluey. Just over to the side. It's gonna be so difficult to try and find those sorts of angles. A lot needs to try and win the challenge. Both these teams know that one big 50-50 win could be all it takes to get themselves this opening goal, as PSG have controlled the pace for the most half. Bluey, straight over to the challenge. Back in the corner we go. Bluey, good challenge from him. He set it up. Farah wants to get there. Farah on target, and with the opening goal, PSG have taken the lead.
A lot trying his best to get out there, but he had no boost on this retreat, and being the defender that had to go up for the shot, there was nothing he could do for this. Eventually, PSG were able to just turn on quick enough before Method could find their rotation.
So PSG in control to start off this matchup, but Method, it's time to turn off the pace, or turn on the pace, I should say. PSG want to settle on this lead. Magnus with a flick up high. Vetsinaris straight down to a lot. A lot comes in, goes off the post. Great passing play from Method. The first time we've seen it from them this series, and it almost works out for a goal. Now Method's starting to look a lot like PSG were to start off this game. Constant challenges in the corner, refusing to give up pressure for even a moment. Another long clear, just getting rid of pressure. PSG recognize it's going to be nearly impossible for them to score off those sort of clears, but they do not care right now. It's all about keeping the lead. There is down from a lot. He is performing in his role, and he's starting to look more and more comfortable as getting lots of space right now. PSG might need to start challenging more. They look like they're trying to go for it. And Norris, great negative angle, even better save from Chaussette, and still 1-0 for PSG.
Unbelievable shot from Metz, and they're actually going to let that one slide, let PSG push that through, go for another counterattack.
Now in the corner, a lot on that backcourt. Tries to set up, but it is Magnus beaten the ball by Chaussette. Chaussette has struggled at times on the stage, looking slightly uncomfortable. But the more and more games he plays, you have to believe that he is going to grow into that role. More and more, Ferrer takes his time on the shot. Method, they might be low on boost here. They don't seem to be wanting to go for too many challenges. That demo will not help us. A lot is taken out. Chaussette taking his time with the delayed flick. Here's Bluey with a shot. And a lot pushing into the corner. Magnus has to get hold of the boost. I do believe he got it, and he did. There's another shot from Chaussette. 30 seconds remaining. Method have to find a way out, and they have done so. Magnus just having to take his time, but you can see Metz as well. He is low on boost.
Two of them have been out of boost since this last push from PSG. I don't know if they've realized it just yet because they haven't been putting on a lot of pressure.
Off the backboard. Method, they finally managed to boost themselves up. Another rotation needs to get back into play. Magnus is now out of boost. And PSG have just squeezed Method out to end this game, but they have to try and deal with it one more time. Ball off the side. A lot is the player on the task. It's just going to flick past. Magnus needs to keep the ball up. He has done so, but it's going to be Ferrer on the challenge. Over to a lot. Up high, Chaussette wants to get contact, and he has done so. But still needs to touch the floor. That is a powerful hit there. Method still will
They've got
not
control.
Magnus flicks the ball off the side of the wall. Metz will get there in time. No, he will not. It was incredible the way that game ended, but PSG, just like they did against Cloud9 yesterday, hold on.
That is what Method needed to do at the very end of that, though. That put enough pressure on PSG to where they cannot go into this next one even feeling that victory. They probably feel good about that, but not as good as they could have. It was a single goal game. Method still almost turned it on at the end. You can see the moment that Method a lot and Metz have any semblance of control, they will bring it directly to PSG. They were able to get that first goal out, but still the shots pretty even back and forth. Those last couple for Method at the very end, unbelievably played by them.
We're going to have another look at that last second shot, just how close this was for Method. Just how long it took as well. They kept this ball up for so long. I believe the record was like 33 seconds we've ever seen. This would have come very close. And here is Magnus. There is the flick over. It was never overly dangerous, but it was all about Method trying to cause a mistake on the side of PSG, and it just never came.
That touch from Metz. The touch from Metz across is probably one of the more impressive ones of those 5 or 6 touches. A lot really wanted to come in for that shot, but they can't feel that loss too hard. That was an unbelievable show at the very, very end to get themselves so close to tying it up. It's a best of 5, and they're still in the upper, so they still have a lot of time to prove themselves.
Method were in this position yesterday. They lost the first game against NRG 1-0. So they know exactly how this feels. They bounced back incredibly well, and they're gonna have to right here. PSG looking solid. We are going to get ourselves into game number 2. Heading over to map fields. It's the pros' favorite map, as we see quite often. Bluey. Quiet during that previous game. Was not necessarily needed. A very different style of play we saw out from PSG. But we see it quite often from especially very offensive teams that somebody tends to do a very different style of game, where they both have to consider and respect each other's abilities, and you see a lot more defensive play.
You'll always especially see that whenever there's any kind of high-pressure situation with a lot on the line. You'll see a lot more respect, not really wanting to overcommit. We really haven't seen a lot of that, especially today. Not many goals on just open nets from overcommitting. Everyone's being very patient whenever they find those chances.
Chaussette uses a lot of boost for a ball he can't get to. Bluey, though, the half volley on the wall. He's going to get it all the way down to Chaussette, who just couldn't quite get contact. That would have been an incredible shot right there. Metz over to Bluey. These passes, I mean, these saves have been incredibly good from PSG so far, but that one is a no-cut save at all. Could go in, but Bluey yet again. He did it yesterday. He cannot do it for a second time. 1-0 to Method.
Shogun, look at this touch from Magnus, getting it right over Chaussette, knowing he was contesting it so gently in. I cannot believe Bluey can come in, but there's no way he'd get that second shot from Metz. A lot of pressure on him to take that, but he does, and they'll find themselves in the lead in game number 2.
And to have the confidence to go forward and know that the save was never going to be powerful enough. Method for a second had all 3 players committed. Now, we do complain about that, but if you score, there is absolutely nothing to complain about. Bluey now, the setup to Chaussette, gets the flick. Ferrer gonna hold himself for the time being, gonna respect Metz' ability to play out. And wait for his opportunity to challenge. Fortunately for him, Metsnar's always in the air. When you go for the challenge higher up, you're more likely to win. Bluey unable to get any contact. PSG find themselves trailing in game number 2. Vera wants to get a challenge, Metsnar's just gonna have to wait for the time being and now turn himself in to try and push the ball away. Well played from Method. They found themselves caught often at the end of an NRG siege. This time around, they're not letting it happen. They're doing a much better job of trying to play away. But PSG seem to be spreading themselves out a lot more. This time spreading themselves out too much. And now Metsnars can take advantage. One touch, looks for the second one. No, going to leave it instead for a lot. Shot accuracy did plague Method yesterday. They're looking to try and convert a few more this time around. And a lot. You're not getting that shot, but Metsnars can. Going to force the save from Shorset. And yet again from PSG. Every time they save, they get it into the corner. It gives time for their team to come back into the rotation.
And Shogun, look at the lack of presence at midfield. Everyone knows how hard these clears can be, especially for both of these teams. Just their consistency on defense. So the midfield presence from their opponents is never there. That's why you'll see a lot of trading in control here.
Lot with the flick. Bluey would love to challenge that. Unfortunately, he couldn't get contact. Ferro with the flick. Onto the backboard that time. 2 minutes and 20 remaining. Still 1 goal separating. Ferro looking to launch it over to the Method end. Right now we are heading into ping-pong gameplay. The team that's winning, that's always a good position to be in. It does waste so much time. It is not off the post, and Shorset recovers in time. Very good job of recognizing just how big his goal was. Didn't commit to a ball that he could not win, or could potentially have resulted in a rebound for Method.
Good recovery from Shorset. It looked like he wasn't going to get there in time, finding himself in an awkward position, but he was still able to get there. Great on him.
What a touch. Get it down a lot. It was there. He couldn't turn himself around in time. Method are looking for that second goal. They respect PSG way too much to try and settle on a 1-goal lead. Ferro looking for the wall. Took it a little bit too far down. The wall is a very good place to use if you are very low on boost and you want to try and get the ball up high, make it more difficult for your opponent to challenge. Instead, Ferro kept it low. Seems like he is in a clearing mood right now. Shorset will back down. It's going to offer an opportunity for a passing play, but a lot was probably expecting a challenge that just never came in. And with 1 minute remaining, this slower pace is going to suit Method, although Ferro wants to try and get his team to explode into the match. Here is Bluey. He does get the block. PSG can start to push the envelope right now. A lot and Magnus both go for the ball. Thankfully for them, it is all the way down to the upper end of the pitch. That will mean that there's going to be no chances for PSG to take advantage.
And if you watch Ferro, you can see him just constantly trying to feed his teammates with good chances. He talked about it as well in his interview, saying that he just wants to be as consistent as possible on defense to give Bluey and Shorset the room to play the game that they know.
There is going to be Bluey. Tries to get the tap down, but I honestly believe Method have developed the perfect strategy to try and nullify Bluey. They are leaving players on the goal line and hoisting themselves up for immediate challenges. Bluey is so effective when a team is trying to rotate back. Magnus is going to take a look. There is only Bluey rotating back, and once again the crossbar is hit by Magnus with the follow-up. A bicycle kick for the goal.
Another gentle touch to try and bait out that defender. Bluey has the skill. He could have had that shot, and more than likely would have had that shot had he gone for the bullet towards the center. Instead, he goes for the soft touch, trying to bait the defender across net, and it works in his favor. 2 goals up.
If you're Blue, you have absolutely no choice in that scenario. You have to go for the jump. You have to try for the save. But Method, just like yesterday, will bounce back from the 1-0 loss, and they're going to take game number 2. And in both matches we've seen so far, the losing team has failed to score.
No surprise here, trading games back and forth. Method and PSG, unbelievable skill on both of these sides. And you were talking about, countering Bluey. Bluey has been a dominating force on PSG. He's had some of the prettiest shots we've pretty much ever seen on the European side, or just worldwide in general. But they're fast. Method, you heard him say it, they pride themselves on how fast they are, and right now they know that speed is what helps win Rocket League in the current meta right now. Bluey needs some time to get those shots set up to him, and he finds himself in the space, but every time he's looking for that disgusting redirect that we know he's capable of, there's somebody from Method there in the way right before he can do it.
And we did hear Karma talking about it on the desk, how Method have the 2-person defense that they like to default to. If you're Bluey, his main strategy is to try and get the ball into the air, force that one defender to blink, to move, to jump. Even if he manages that right now, Method have got the second defender to just come in and just go, all right, cool, you beat the one guy, here I am, I have the ball now, I'm gonna clear.
I mean, you're dealing with Maganaris every time you're in the back. Both of them are pretty much just echoes of each other. The moment one of them goes for any kind of save, the other one's always there for that two-man defense. Someone's got control, how do you do it? Well, the first one contests, makes him make a move, the second one's there to shadow it through to get the hard clear because there's no way he'll be able to control it in time. They know each other so well, and it's also what gives a lot of his room to breathe.
Well, both these teams have had incredibly competent games, 1s and 2, respectively, but it is now time for us to go into game number 3. One of these teams will put themselves on match point. The other one will have to try and claw back from behind. We are going to find out who is going to be in which role in the next 5 minutes. PSG want to try and take control of the ball early on. Bluey still been relatively quiet so far. Actually, seemingly putting himself back into a regular rotation as he comes in to try and help Chaussette off the backboard. Almost like he knows that those air dribbles just aren't going to work, and he's instead going to go for a much safer style of play.
Look at these touches from Method right now.
Finding a way out. Magnus now on the wall. I mean, no challenge for a long time, but he didn't quite get a strong enough contact. Chaussette will back off and allow Bluey to come in. I think the dude did have a stronger shot to take. There is a lot. There goes Chaussette. Tried to fake out Bluey as well, but Bluey knew exactly where the ball was. Here comes Chaussette to try and get the half volley on the wall, and he does get it straight into the waiting clutches of Mercenaris. Over to a lot. What a great shot that was, forcing Chaussette through for the save, but there will be the 4-up. No, there will not. Method have just put out the warning shot to PSG, and I guarantee you that the message was received loud and clear.
You know, they weren't kidding. When you just watch a live ball cam, if I just follow him, he really is just driving wherever he wants. But it's incredible how Mets and Moggs, no matter where he is, they'll always find him. They'll always get a touch in his direction and allow him to take just monster shots like that.
A lot is a very good player to watch if you want to know just how much pressure Method is feeling. So if you watch him in scrims, or you watch him online, he will happily just let Metzer and Magnus stay back the entire time. He trusts them with the defense. But the more pressure they are under, the more he starts to come back, the more he is part of that rotation, because he knows he's got to be there. There's a lot more on the line. Bluey wants to get the set to Ferrer. He almost got it. And now it's going to be Mercenaris who's going to be taking the ball away from him. Come in, Bluey tries to get a block.
Look at this a lot, going up so quick, putting that in the middle. They really don't hesitate at all. The moment they see any of their teammates touch it, they're always thinking about how they can help out.
Bluey now finding with one of those air balls. He's going to set it up for Ferrer, but exactly what I said during the mid-game. There's going to be another long shot. Here is Magnus trying to get a block shot and put it in.
How did Bluey just make it back to defense?
He is a recovery master. He lands at the same pace he goes up at. Mercenaris didn't quite get enough contact. Exactly what I said during the post-game of the previous matchup. Method are happy to commit to try and block Bluey as long as they've got another man back who can just clean up. Mercenaris now will find himself on the wall. He's got 0 boost. That will be taken advantage of by Chaussette. Ferrer off the backboard, followed up by Bluey, who does whip. Now Method can go on the counter-attack, but it has been a slow build-up from them. Mercenaris tries to go for a demo on a flying Ferrer. You're not going to reach him. Lot does get just completely panned by Bluey. And then a mistake from Mercenaris. This is an open goal, but Bluey takes the shot. He can't find the angle. And still, somehow, we are tied at 0-0.
Blue is doing his best, a lot of pressure right now, just finding himself on the backboard of Method. The last 30 seconds or so, he is just all over the place right now. But he needs to be careful. If he commits too hard to everything, his teammates will struggle to find where they belong.
Yeah, the more he commits, the more his teammates have to slow themselves down. They get caught in a situation where they have to go fast. It can be detrimental. Mercenaris ends up leaving it. He's got Magnus coming in, who's going to try and find the backboard. Boston teams just adapt so well to the backboard play. It was so dominant back in Season 2. Now, almost a non-factor. Almost just like a, yeah, we don't want to play defense right now. We're just going to put off your backboard, but we know you're going to deal with it.
Yeah, it can be sometimes a good way, I don't want to say lazy, but it's a good way to just give your team a little bit of time. They do have to, Bluey again going in for another shot.
He keeps trying to go for these blocks right now. He is just one big win away from putting PSG in the lead. As Bluey once again beat for the challenge. Ferrer is there, over to Bluey. It's just gonna kiss the front of the goal line on its way past.
Didn't have much of an angle. That defender sitting on the line. A demolition on Farah, though. Well, actually, on each other.
It was a little bit crazy over there in the goal, but we are heading towards the end of the game. Malot does not want to see overtime. Here comes Mercenaris, puts it into the net. And just like the popcorn said, it is celebration time for Method.
And this right here is faith. They had faith that Alon was actually going to make this shot. You saw the hesitation. Shawset trying to pre-jump a lot touch, but he wasn't there for it. All three players from PSG in net, but Mercenaris will find the hole.
There is 32 seconds remaining. One goal is the difference, and PSG need to scramble and claw their way back into the match. Otherwise, Method will go on to match point, series point, and maybe head themselves into our upper bracket final for a date against GFE. Farah will have something to say about that. Shawset will have something to say about that. And the player he's just passed to will definitely have something to say about that. Bluey trying to pound a ball, pound a shot to the backboard, but there is so little time remaining with Mercenaris just putting that into the corner. It's going to be more time wasted, and Method will take game number 3, and they are on the verge of heading to the upper bracket finals.
Before that final shot that we just saw from Method, it was 7 shots for PSG and 2 for Method. Or actually, no, sorry. My bad. Sorry, 2 for PSG. 2 for PSG before that final touch, right? So before that final drive they just had, it was only 2 for PSG and 7 for Method. That is control. That Method, even though it was only a 1-goal game, they were able to just put up so many shots and so many threatening shots as well, forcing Bluey to make his way from the front of the field, back of the field. He's starting to feel the pressure, and you can tell because he wants to be everywhere. He's doing an incredible job of that, but the more he feels like he needs to be both the striker and the defender, the more pressure he'll feel, and that's when he risks falling apart.
You can see that player right in the middle of your screen there. Farah, the in-game leader of PSG. And my goodness, he is going to need to be. He has to speak up and get his team sorted out because Method look like they are starting to figure them out. There's been very low scoring games so far, but the stats say otherwise. These shot differentials are way too much, and PSG are going to struggle to make much of a threat against Method with only 3 shots.
And you can see how many of those shots were on net. Sometimes a shot will register if you miss, but look at how many saves registered for PSG. We don't see that very often. We'll see high shots, but only a couple saves because a lot of the shots were just off target, but still may have registered. But in that case, nearly all of the shots that Method took last game were a threat and forced PSG to be in a place they don't like to be, which is on defense.
It is time for PSG to attempt to bounce back. This could be Method's moment, but it is time to do it one more time. 5 minutes could be the difference between them and a match against GFE. Still all to do. Bluey immediately taking control of the ball. Seems like PSG are often coming out better for the kickoff. But they don't maintain pressure for too long. Here's going to be an attempted passing play off the backboard. A lot is always there. There were options to the left there. I feel like it would have been taken just a little bit better. A lot with the challenge. A lot will try and follow this up, but he's not quite able to get there. Or he surprised himself with the opportunity, let alone the PSG defense.
He still pulled out 2 defenders, though, so now they're stuck in a tight rotation and struggling for boost, trying for that. 2 of them have nothing. Only Bluey has boost right now for PSG.
Only the side boost to come up. They come every 10 seconds, but well played there by Bluey. Just to try and carry the ball out. Now a lovely pass over to Shawset, who will find the top right corner. This was the perfect response.
Method thought they had too much control there. They did not retreat in order and on time. Method thinking he could get there, but Shawset and Bluey playing the short game. Quick jump from Shawset to give them the first goal.
Let's get into it yet again. PSG 1 goal to the better now. Under a minute played, and a lot just wants to try and put some questions up there. See how PSG are doing with their nerves and whether or not they feel like making a mistake and allow Method to get back into the game. There's Bluey. Goes it straight down, but a lot and the rest of Method just holding themselves on the goal line, ready and waiting for anything. There's PSG doing exactly what they did last time we saw them in the lead. Constantly with the long balls, constantly with the big clears. Carter, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've only ever seen 1 team score per game. Every other time, the losing team has finished with 0 goals.
No, that is true. Well, I mean, it's a lot of momentum with these 2 teams and a lot of respect as well. You saw it with that last attempt last game. Everyone expecting a lot to make that touch. So once a single goal has been made, they kind of start to feel like, oh wow, it seems like they're in their pace. They know what they're doing. So it really depends on if Method feels like PSG has got full control right now and if they're going to play a lot more defense.
Ball is just going to be looping up high. Magnus I think he saw Ferrer just behind the camera of his car and just went, oh goodness, he's going to try and hit me, and went for the jump. Seems to actually give PSG an idea there, trying to get some more bumps on the goalkeepers. Looking for that second goal. Chaussette grabs boost, takes it away from a lot. That's going to put him in such a good position, as a lot has to play back. That's Norris actually used to power up the shot. PSG really looking solid right now, despite themselves being in a very bad position in this series. Set up across the middle of the goal. Ferrer thinks better about committing for a ball that he's just never going to get on zero boost.
To be fair, Jurgen, they're both in a pretty bad place this series because they're going against each other. I wouldn't want to go against either of these teams.
There's going to be a shot straight off the middle of the goal, but yeah, I have to absolutely agree with you. We've reached the point now in Rocket League eSports where you beat a Cloud9 and you go, okay, what's my reward? Oh, yeah, it's my regional rivals. Great, I love it. See, they say I love it sarcastically, and I say I love it because I mean it. This is what Rocket League is all about.
Quiet shots on both teams right now. PSG with only 2, one of those, the one that went in. Method with 3. A lot of ping pong right now, but you know, we've seen this out of both of these teams, trying to figure out, hey, when can we do our offense? Since they're both so heavy on that creative offense, they need to be very careful of when they take that out.
Exactly. For a lot of people, this can look almost meandering and meaningless, but for a defensive team, this is exactly what you need to do. It is exactly those 2 words, because it is impossible to set up any opportunity for Method because the ball is always so high that you can't control. The more and more the ball gets played up there, the more and more difficult it's going to be for them to set anything up. Magnus gets bumped into the save by Bluey. Follow-up shot there from Chaussette. It will sneak in. Chaussette picks himself up 2 goals, the brace in this match.
Chaussette has honestly really brought it out this series. I know towards the end of his series against Cloud9, he got a little bit shaky, and there were a couple of moments where it looked like Chaussette wasn't getting where he needed to. But right now, these quick shots from him have been catching Method off guard.
Just offering a little bit too much space. Some defensive mistakes as well. Magnus, he's got 0 people to beat, will leave it for a lot. This is going to be 1 goal clawed back, and for PSG, that's going to feel bad. That should not have been as easy as it was.
Yeah, they committed too hard. Both Chaussette and Ferrer going up for that. You really don't need to do that, especially off of a dead kickoff that just popped up right in the middle. You understand the teammate, everyone's going to go for that. There's only one option that happens on kickoff. Everybody goes for the ball. So both of them going up for that, that really needed to be communicated.
Now 1 goal is the difference. Bluey would love to make it 2, almost did. Still PSG have just had such a great mentality shift. Every single time they go in the lead, they are refusing to pack it up. They do not turtle up, they just control the midfield as best they possibly can. It's working out so far with 50 seconds remaining. They could be heading into game number 5.
But you saw what Method can do with 0 seconds left. The PSG cannot let off.
A lot. Good save from him. Magnus has got boost. He's going to try and take this down to the other end. Good block from him. Metsnaris also have a good block. 2 decent challenges from Method, but unfortunately the shadowing player was in PSG's colors, but that's going to go other end of the pitch, and PSG have dropped the 2-goal lead.
A hard pitch all the way to the other end, unexpected by Ferrer. He goes up for it. He had the boost too. He just picked up 2 more pads, but you really don't expect the hard 2-player pinch all the way perfectly into your net as well, and that will be a tie game.
Wow, that was out of nowhere, and now a big question arises on PSG. They must have felt like they had this game in the bag with just 1 minute remaining, but now they have to bounce back. They did it yesterday. Can they do it today? Metsnaris gets beat by Bluey, a reversing Bluey at that, using the rear end of his car for a very solid challenge. Bluey wants to try and tap it down. A lot is not there, and suddenly PSG have taken the game back.
Again, respect from both sides. You see Bluey go up for this. Magnus expecting a touch, not there on the backboard, and then a lot trying to react last second, but he couldn't get there as Ferrer following his teammate patiently. Always trusting in Bluey. Everybody trusted in Bluey. And to be fair, him not touching it was probably the better option.
A roller coaster of emotions might continue, but a lot is unable to get there. PSG are going to head us into a tiebreaker.
Game number 5, the final game of this series. Who will push through? This is the first game we saw both teams score, nearly going into overtime. Shogun, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking we got ourselves a real match here, my friend. PSG and Method, I'd said at the beginning of this series just how similar they have been this series, this entire season. just constantly the same. And we're gonna have a little look right here. What that 2-second goal meant. Relief is what you can explain that as. They knew just how much that match meant to them.
I mean, the pressure right now for them has got to be immense, but they brought themselves to a game number 5. That game was, I think, the most even we'd seen. 6 shots apiece for each team, and a single goal at the very end that separated the two of them. So now I think both of them have kind of found that nice middle ground of what kind of room do we need to give ourselves and what kind of room can we not allow for our opponents to have. So trading possession back and forth, really just finding that perfect chance, not taking needless shots on net anymore, just taking the ones that they know are a big enough threat.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for game number 5. For one of these teams, it is up and on the way for a matchup against GFB. This season, they both came in as the new hot stuff. They both ended the season at 6 games apiece of victory. And they come into this match with 2 games won. But it's finally time for their path to divulge. One team is going to head themselves on to the winners' finals. Magnus going to take early control of the ball. Once again, PSG winning the kickoff. Chaussette has to pass this one straight down. Do not be surprised if this turns into a very tactical affair. The first goal will be the most telling, and it's almost one right there off the post. PSG with the first big chance of this big match.
But every time you see any team take a shot, remember they dedicated a lot of boost time and position for that. So it's on the other team to turn it around, and the quicker they do that, the harder it will be to defend.
Now into the corner, Metsinaris has got time, but he's also got Chaussette breathing down his neck. Also Farah coming in. 2 chances there for PSG to take control of the ball, but neither of them won, and it does result in Method with a very good offensive opportunity. It will be converted. Magnus draws first blood.
Look at this decision from Milan. He knew that no one was on the backboard, and it forced Blue to go up, and he got caught on the corner. He wouldn't have gotten that either way. It was so high and up, and it left everybody on the ground in the net for PSG, and Method will find the first goal of this game 5.
And it all came from those challenges in Method's half. 2 players committed, 0 balls won, and Method could go into a 2v1 in PSG's half. And that is a huge opportunity that they did convert. Something that they really struggled with yesterday was converting those major opportunities, but they do grab it this time. Bluey forced to play it over to Farah, who does get blocked by Magnus. Those passing plays where the person you pass them to has more or less stopped in the midfield, barely ever work anymore. It is constant motion needed, especially against a team like Method. Here's a shot again. Chaussette jumps, he hopes, and he saves. Now Farah, looking for the backboard. Bluey will put himself up. He was respected last time, but this time Method knew he couldn't get there. Metsinaris just wants to push it straight up to Chaussette, who goes long. Everyone on PSG starting to rotate back. They need to avoid getting caught in a siege. Farah over to Bluey, and that is how you get yourself out very quickly. Give yourself an extra option, make yourself unpredictable, and Method unable to hold on to the siege for that long.
Everyone playing so quick. The defense from Method right now, holding off PSG, but for how long? You can see how quickly Bluey now is trying to get up for these intercepts to try and find the angle that Method just can't read.
Well, we saw these 2 teams in league play. The opening matchup we saw between them was the fastest Rocket League I have ever seen in the RLCS. I really would like to see if they can replicate it yet again on this massive stage. Bluey taking control of the ball. It will go to some of the 2 Method players, but already Magnus waiting. Pass over to Bluey. I do like the PSG are trying to make use of the infield. However, it seems to be just a little bit too predictable. Method are not even trying to play the player anymore. They're just seeing, okay, I see the link, I see where the ball has to go. I'm going to aim my car that way.
Not a lot of boost right now. Bluey was able to snag down in the corner.
That could be number 2. 2 players committed. Farah and Chaussette both going for the save, but it will be Bluey with control of the ball. A lot of no boost used there for Chaussette. Full pass into the middle. PSG looking shaky right now on the defense. They need to get the ball away. They need to regroup. Bluey now with the ball by himself looks to go for a flick. He wanted to go for a reverse flick, but it's going to go all the way down to the upper end.
All the way!
And the rotation from PSG has broken down.
Starting with a double commit on defense, Bluey wanted to help out Chaussette, but that time Farah and Chaussette on opposite sides of the field, unaware who was going to follow up with that attack, with Bluey trying to support their teammates. Now Method will find themselves 2 goals up with only 2 minutes remaining.
It is right in front of them for Method. It is so close. 2 minutes now separating them. from heading on in the tournament. Ferrer makes a mistake, and PSG are crumbling under the pressure.
This could be the tilt to the moon right now. This is not what you'd like to see. Another kickoff goal conceded. Ferrer unable to get there yet again, not expecting such a hard shot from kickoff. A minute 55. PSG have a mountain to climb.
I just had a look over my shoulder. PSG, they're not talking to each other apart from the occasional, what looks like almost a mumble coming out from them. They can't afford to get under each other's skin. There is still time. There is still hope for them to get back to the match, but they have to trust one another. And Method seems to be opening up the opportunity to take the shot, but unfortunately does not find the target. And PSG, that was an opportunity they needed to take. Now Chaussette struggling to get any passing plays going. Bluey was available, but just couldn't get across the ball. Another miss from Ferrer. Here will be the follow-up. It's not on target, and 4 goals would definitely have been the end of this. Now it's almost going for a flip onto poor old Bluey there. Shot on the backboard. Here's a lot. They want that 4th goal. They know the more goals they take, the more goals they score, the more and more they will bury PSG's hopes in this match. And with 1 minute remaining, it is just hold on and you make it now for Method.
Bluey right now wanting to do anything to put it onto offense, but they're struggling right now. As Method know, not only do they have the goal lead, but they have the momentum pace in their favor.
Bluey tries to go for the setup on Magnus yet again. No one on Method committing to any of the passing players. They are instead reading the offensive one. Chaussette looks to put it down. It's going to bounce out, but Messnars has it read. Chaussette, no contact taken with 30 seconds remaining. It is just time to ride out the wave for Method. Messnar's going to get there. He's going to clear it long. And Bluey, a missed touch from him as well. That has really just been the cause of all of their problems. There's going to be a save from Magnus. Bluey still refusing to give up on this match. But unfortunately for them, with 10 seconds remaining, is all they're going to be able to do. Method have grinded ever since last season. They stuck together, and now with each other, they're going to head into the upper bracket finals.
In a beautiful series played by both of these teams, Method proved they are on top right now. Just really taking control whenever they saw it. That final game, even if they were on mistakes at PSG, they saw it, they seeked it out, and they were able to just have massive control. Look at the shot differential now, unbelievable. Method really had that series in there. They will move on to the upper finals. It is massive for them.
Method, you saw what that meant. You saw a lot right in the middle of those players. Congratulations, both of his teammates. You just know how hard they worked for this, and they are reaping the benefits. Carpet, the grind pays off. You work, you get results.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Method was kind of my low-key team to make it all the way to the finals, and so far they've done it in the uppers. Can they make it to the grand? But PSG, they're not done. Remember, this was the upper bracket, so they go all the way back down, now to the low, all the way down, I guess, the one step, but I guess it feels like all the way down. They have plenty of chance, and they're still a massively threatening team. They took Method to a game 5. Granted, that last one got a little carried away. They weren't fully in control for the final game, but they still showcased that they are here to play.
And we saw it yesterday. They almost dropped 2 games against Cloud9. And this time around in game 5, they ended up just handing the game away to Method. PSG, for them, there is no question about their mechanical ability. There will never be a question about their mechanical ability, but you have to look at their mentality and just, there is something there that needs to change.
I mean, it's just, you're going to feel the pressure, and it's, you know, two of the players' very first times here on the stage, and they're very young players as well. So I can only imagine what that must feel like. And, you know, but you have to give credit to Method, because it is their first time here as well as a full roster. After their heart-crushing loss last season, it's unbelievable to see how far they've gotten and what the grind has truly done for them.
Well, this is going to be us here. We are going to hand you over to Golden Boy, and he's with a lot.
Guys, give it up for Method. What a showing. What a showing. Seriously. Best of 5. You guys, both of you just can't keep doing this to me. It's too much. All right, this game was very defensive, by the way. Your earlier game as well, very defensive. Was that the intention? Or, because I feel like you guys are a little bit more of the, you know, like just in your face, want to score sometimes, right? You know, make it happen. This time around, very defensive. Was that the plan?
Not really. We tried to play as fast as possible, obviously, and we tried to keep, like, obviously me on the offense at all times. But I don't feel like I can really do that now because I keep missing, and then I guess that, like, I lose not motivation, but I don't know. I just don't play as good as I can, I guess.
Well, I mean, clearly you guys end up getting the win. So I think that speaks to the unit, right? The three of you guys working together. And speaking of, last season you didn't even make it to the RLCS World Championship, and here you are about to face off against Gale Force eSports and potentially go to the grand finals. I mean, what a turnaround! And you guys have stayed together for 11 months. Why did you all decide to stick together as a team? Because
Mets and Magnus are the best duo in the game. They are so good, it's insane. And I think, in my opinion, I fit very well with them. So honestly, there's no point in splitting up. I guess, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Teamwork makes dreams work, people. That's exactly, and now here you are. Okay, so we did get a chance to talk to Valen Panda earlier, and he said that he wanted to face off against you guys, but not because of any particular reason, but because you guys are friends, and he wanted to face off against his friends in the winter bracket final. And that also is kind of something that I've been hearing a lot. Like, you in particular are one of the most well-liked individuals. Like, this Method team is so well-liked. You're just all good people. Is that just all what you wanted to do, right? You don't want to be here and have this spicy banter. You just want to be friendly to everyone?
Well, me and Turbo have been friends for 2 years now. He's such a nice guy. And well, obviously, he's bantering way too much, I guess, for Twitter's liking. But yeah, they're all really good friends, and in my opinion, they're the best team in the world. So beating them would mean everything to us.
Do you think you can do it? Do you think you can go to the grand finals on the winner side?
If Magnus and Meta keeps playing like they do, and I keep getting carried, sure.
Alot, always a pleasure to talk to you, my man. Thank you so much, guys. Give it up once again for Alot and the team in Method. They're going to the winter bracket finals. Let's send it over to Axel Toss. Break it away.
Thank you, Golden Boy, and huge congratulations to Method. A huge victory for them, a monumental victory, you might say, as they now advance to the upper bracket final to face off against Gale Force eSports. That's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be the first best of 7 we're going to see in the tournament. But let's recap that one against PSG in the form of the Mobile One High Performance Replay. A very defensive matchup. I was kind of thinking about it and talking to the other guys about it. I wasn't necessarily expecting that, but then after I thought about it a little bit more, I'm like, okay, I guess that makes sense, because Bluey was a defensive monster yesterday.
But Axel Toss, I've heard this a couple times.
Yeah.
Defense wins championships.
And
Method, they've now played 10 games, and they've only given up 8 goals. 4 goals in each series. They're doing it on the defensive side first, and then they're trying to work it into the offense. Their offense was a lot better today so far, and obviously they're done for the day, so it seems like they're getting better and better each and every day here.
Absolutely, and Alot said Mets and Magnus are carrying him. Well, Alot, he's a pretty sick scorer as well, and I think he needs to give himself a little credit. He did have some backboard passing plays that set up some goals, but if he can step up his shooting for tomorrow, then Method has a legitimate chance at getting into the grand final in the winter bracket.
Yeah, there were 2 things I noticed that Method did during this game. They dominated the backboard. PSG had no answer for them. They threw it off the backboard whenever they wanted, and even Alot, who usually scores, he was missing quite frequently. He usually puts those away. They were still dominating, and Alot also, you guys were speaking about the defense earlier. Alot also is really intricate in their defense. Method, Magnus and Metza are really good at the duo, playing defense and holding it down. But also, Alot is really good at being that, coming from the midfield and redirecting it and keeping the momentum on the other side and just like getting the ball out of the zone and countering really quickly.
And talking about getting the ball out of the zone, some of those long goals were insane.
Oh my
it
God.
Just seemed like the heavens wanted Method to win after that pinch goal that went all the way downfield over Farrah's head. So in the end, like you said, Gibbs, that defense, that really helped Method get this win.
But then at the same time, PSG, this happened in the Cloud9 series as well. They would try and go a little bit too hard on the offensive side, trying to get that goal, and then it would turn into a 2v1 versus Chaussette, and that was with, of course, Gimmick and Squishy. And now this time, they just left the net open a couple times with some weird pinches, or just one play where Bluey's going for an aerial dribble, doesn't really have it, and then they just shoot it right down the field because they all moved up at the same exact time. They have to be a little bit more careful about trying to send too much at the net.
Yeah, PSG likes to play that aggressive style. It's really unpredictable, and it works in their favor. But one thing that you noticed was that their third man, who's usually, when you're playing that aggressive style as a third man, it's really, really important that you make the correct decision when to move forward. And you can see PSG struggling with that third man too many times. They were caught upfield and it just left open nets, open backboards, and things like that.
So PSG not going to be playing again until tomorrow. If you're coaching PSG right now, you know, it could be a tough loss for them. Being on that big stage, you're moments away from getting to the winner bracket final. There's money, there's pride, there's just keeping yourself alive in the tournament. Now they're in the lower bracket and everything is on the line for them. What are you telling this team to make sure they keep it together, especially considering they got two 15-year-olds? It's a very young team. How do they maintain their composure going into tomorrow?
So I would just go into it being like, you've played 10 games against two of the best in the world, and you've competed right up there with them. You can do it again tomorrow, and of course, like tomorrow, you get to ride that momentum more. Just get that first win. Just worry about that game, and then ride that momentum to the second, the third, the fourth. We've seen it time and time again. Lower bracket runs here, so it's very possible for PSG. I don't think they should be too worried, but we know that they have confidence issues when they lose.
But I still think they've lost before. They know how to lose. They're not out of it yet. The last two champions came from that lower bracket. And honestly, they had to make an even further lower bracket run. So they're not in a terrible position. They've already taken out Cloud9, who is my favorite to win it all. They can still make this lower bracket run and become the Season 4 world champion.
If I'm PSG, I'm probably looking back at the replay, and I don't think you're going to change too much. You've come this far. You had such a great day yesterday. And there's the only thing that you could try and maybe tweak is just paying attention as your third man, recognizing that you're the last one back and maybe not being super aggressive, a bit more passive. But if you do that, you also risk changing your entire play style that has worked for you so far. So I would probably just try and reflect and maybe gain your confidence. Make sure you keep that confidence moving forward, because that's what makes them so great is when they play fast, they're confident, they don't hesitate, and they just try and play their style.
All right, we'll keep an eye on PSG tomorrow as they try to make a lower bracket run. Meanwhile, we're going to have Method against Gale Force. That's going to be an upper bracket final, best of 7, also taking place tomorrow. I want everyone here to give yourselves a round of applause, and if you're at home watching, give yourself a round of applause too, because I'm getting reports we actually broke Twitter a little bit for some people. So using the hashtag
I thought you were going to
RLCS,
say we were trending worldwide.
Are we? I don't know.
Sure, we are, yeah.
Hashtag soon.
Keep the hashtag going, hashtag RLCSWC. We're going to take a short break here. It's time to get into the elimination matches. Coming up next, we have NRG going up against Chiefs. An elimination match to decide who's going to be our first team knocked out of our Season 4 World Championship.